get started up. Everybody, welcome to Green Global Real Estate Education Network. Today we're just going to do kind of an informal roundtable, introduce everyone that's here, and I just want to figure out what some of people's goals are and what they may have as far as experience goes in real estate. And then kind of do a question and answer, dial into some of the things that people want to address. For those of you out there, a couple of people are dialing in online. We do these meetings every Wednesday. We focus on real estate investment, business, personal productivity, particularly leaning towards people in the real estate industry, but really anyone in sales or business can come get some benefit. We simulcast our meetings online, and then we record and archive these meetings for our membership. So any of our members can come in and watch. The meetings here are free. We do have a paid component. I'll talk about that later as part of our education company. But for the most part, we just want to get together, talk about ideas, network with some people, and get to know people who are moving and shaking in real estate. So I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to go around and just have everyone do about a 15, 20-second introduction. My name is Steve Chaisson. I'm one of the co-founders of the company, and I formerly a real estate agent. I was a pretty high producer with several companies, and now I primarily, other than going to Green, I go to auctions and buy properties at auctions and flip properties. And I'll start with you.
Mohammed Rahimi, profession in IT, real estate investor.
And Mohammed and I have partnered on several properties, and he's done a couple of deals. So, on his own.
Shivani Ibrahim is Mohammad's brother. As far as experience, I don't have much, but I've been impressed with my brother Mohammed to several properties. So I partner up with you people that
And I'm Linda Morris, and I'm actually a loan officer. Industry, tenure about 17 years. I work with First Community Mortgage. I'm in Brentwood. I provide loans in most states, and I'm here to learn all about real estate and what can I do to make some money as well.
May I ask, have you purchased a rental property?
I have.
Okay,
I've purchased and sold. I have.
Good for you.
Chattanooga.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Irina Babinskaya, and I guess we finally found the title for me, Education Coordinator. So if you have some questions, I will be happy to answer them.
Katina Smith, new agent to Nashville, born right here. I'm currently with GIC Realty. I came to Green for investments and also education. I'm learning the market, learning what to buy, what not to buy, and I'm working with these guys to get to know real estate.
My name is Lloyd Carr. I own a company called Bird's Eye Group. I'm an asset recovery specialist. I've been into real estate for a very short time, and I'm here to learn. That's why I'm coming in, finding in with you guys.
Hey, I'm Nikki Lazarus. I'm a real estate agent, also an investor. Work with my husband, sell real estate, help him as far as rehab properties, rent out properties. We got 2 VRBOs on the manage, and do a few other things on the side.
I'm Wes Lazarus. I'm an investor, investor real estate. I'm not a realtor. My wife is. I do like Steve. I go to a lot of auctions around the state, and sometimes out of the state. Got a little over 20-some rental units.
Let me ask, I want to get a couple of questions from different perspectives.
And I'm Mark.
Hello, Mark. We can hear you, but we can't.
I do shade the gray. In real estate.
I'm hearing more like 50 decibels on your cell phone. I can't see you, Mark. I know, but he can. We're going to. We'll open up to questions. Right now, we'll kind of keep it in the room. We'll open up to some questions. I just don't want to hit the feedback. We'll interact online here in just a minute. But I want to get a discussion going with our group that we have here. And this is Larry Cox.
I love traffic. 40 minutes to get here from Brooklyn.
So let me ask you. I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with you guys, brothers here. I know that you guys want to get into flipping more property. What have you found to be your biggest obstacle as far as, I want to get your mindset about it, thinking coming in what you thought, and then getting through your first deal. I just want to get some of the mindset of getting over the hump, and then what you think some of the challenges are stepping to the next level. I'll give you guys some perspective. So we've done, we're on our fourth deal now? Okay. 3 deals in the books, 1 that he did on his own, 2 that we partnered, and then the 3rd one that we're partnering on right now. And so, what do you think has been, what's your experience like with your first one, and then what do you think is challenging?
For me, the hardest part really is just the background. I don't do this full time, so I'm in IT. That's my full time job. So for me, that's the biggest obstacle is willing to find the time to come in and go to auctions with Steve or go to auctions. I went to auctions in downtown sometimes, but it's kind of hard. And a long time ago, I went there, and that's where I met Les. And I met you, coming to the auction. So, sure. But it's not an everyday thing for me. So for me personally, it's the time that's what I find to be difficult. The biggest obstacle is to come over here. As we discussed in the past, for me just to quit my daytime job and come and do this full time, sure. It's a little risky at this point. So once I get to that level where flipping properties, then I think I should be able to quit my daytime and focus on this full time. Because ultimately, that's what I want to do is to do real estate, is to be able to go to auctions and flip houses, do all that.
And last year, you made as much in the real estate as you did with your regular job.
Correct. Yeah. So, and thanks to you, that was, really was a lot of help.
We do actually teach people, folks.
So,
he doubled his income flipping properties last year.
So, truth be told, it was all his help, and then all the guidance was from him. Even the first property he found, he helped me. So I made a mistake, the flooring.
A couple mistakes, that's okay. Yeah. It was a good house.
Yeah, it was a good house, and lesson learned from it.
Yeah. And you're a good manager, too. You got to play to your strengths. And Siobhan, so you're kind of working with Muhammad, right?
Yeah, for me, honestly, I would say we kind of touch based on it is the actual know-how. And in IT, you can tell me something, I can tell you, hey, go take this route or this route. Same case here with real estate. He is ready to buy this house, but he comes around and look, and there's only thing wrong with this house. You didn't see it, it's good, you haven't been through it, and you don't have that much experience within yourself.
So for an analytical person, for a computer type, it's hard to make that. You like to have an understanding of what's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you don't really know for sure. It's a guess. You don't like to guess.
Exactly. And then there's some research on my own, and they say, well, take the kitchen, this color, do this in the floor to get $10,000 for your property. Yeah. So stuff like that you don't just burn it today.
Sure.
Come over first. Experience.
Okay.
That
No, that's good stuff. And so, Glenda, I'm actually curious. The property that you bought in Chattanooga, did you buy it? What precipitated? Okay. Was it a great deal, or
it was
was
a great deal? I turned around and doubled the profit on
Okay.
I rented it out for a while, but then I turned around and sold it.
Okay. Were you able to
I
hold it?
did do a little bit now on it. It's
Okay.
a small amount, but just because I'm in the industry and I know what to look for, I know what to look for in appraisals, and I just kind of know what properties look like,
Sure,
what's good
sure.
property, what's not, structurally sound.
What part of Chattanooga was it?
In Brainerd.
You know Brainerd?
Not yet. My son lives in Chattanooga, and I've been exploring the Orchard, what's the Orchard
Orchard
Knob?
Knob area.
Orchard Knob and Highland Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, across River Red Bank
Yeah.
and Dixon and that area. Yeah, I bought him a house 2 months ago on Roberts Street,
Yeah,
which
no,
is
exactly. That's over in Church, East Chattanooga area.
right on the edge of Orchard Knob.
Yeah.
Got a great deal.
Yeah, I think so. I think
We
it's
found really great deals in that area right now.
Yeah. Again,
Chattanooga's a good place to buy.
and I think it's
It
coming,
seems
it's
like
up
it
and coming
is.
market.
There's some,
I think.
yeah. Which is funny, my business partner, he traditionally has bought the cheapest stuff. So he would buy the worst neighborhoods, which, you know, in
The worst houses in the worst
Of course,
neighborhood.
yeah, Nashville, that was a good play if you hold on to those. I think eventually that probably would wind up being a good play in Chattanooga.
It is.
Because all the worst neighborhoods are really close to downtown.
That's right.
And I think you can kind of get a feel for what's going to hit, but it may be a generation before it flips. But I mean,
I don't have another generation on that. Yeah, he does. I know he does.
Larry's going for the quick kills.
Yeah.
Just pass it down.
So were you active in the loan business there?
No, I actually was not active in the loan business. I became active in the loan business 17 years ago when I moved here.
Okay, that's
I
what
was
I moved
actually in
here.
marketing for the Crystal Member corporate office when it was in Chattanooga.
All right, yeah, I moved here 17 years ago. That's when I started.
I was up here.
Okay. All right, Irina, what do you think? What's your biggest? What are your biggest thoughts, or your biggest thoughts? That's not really great.
Big thoughts.
What are your biggest thoughts? That sounds like company in English there. Your bigliest thoughts. What are your most prolific thoughts? What do you think about real estate? As far as your challenge getting into it, and how you feel about it? If you're enjoying it, what are your thoughts on it? I'm just trying to figure out, get the temperature of the room.
Well, in my very first deal in the real estate, I made actually turn in what, just 3-4 weeks. The money I was making as a lab manager at Vanderbilt University for 3 months.
Was that the Florida deal?
No, it was the Woodbine deal.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Actually, Florida deal
That's
was
right.
good
Yeah,
too.
we did that duplex in Woodbine,
Yeah.
and that would have doubled if we would have held on to it. It's more than doubled. It's 200.
Oh gosh, yeah. And you know,
Was that
it
3
was
years
just
ago?
feeling when you
Yeah.
don't know
That's
anything
good.
about it, but you have a feeling. You have to
We'll
get
put it this way: 3 years ago, the whole group passed on a duplex in Woodbine for $40,000. Everybody was in it. They all passed on. We bought it. So
and
everybody
with a lot of
passed.
people.
George, Eric, your guys they all passed.
Because it was cleaner stuff at that time.
It was yeah. Now it's 200,000.
Yeah.
And we just flipped it for 75.
December 2014.
Yep, that was 3 years ago. Oh, 2.5 years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, my husband, he did buy some lots, and he just sold those a couple of years ago. He bought them with school cheap.
Well,
And I told him to hold on to them just a little bit longer than I had. He would make more money.
I've consistently seen, I think Mark can attest to this, he's on the phone, but that everyone, in the long run, the people that are holding stuff make more wealth. They develop more wealth. I mean, I had a place, I bought a triplex on Monroe Street for $80,000 from Hal Wilson. I don't know if you remember that. He bought a bunch of properties and split them off. Really good deal. I should have held it right on. No, it was a three units back. I think 1022. It's
Both of the
expensive.
brothers on one hand, the other on the other hand, one sold.
Yeah, it's everything. It's expensive real estate over there now. Everything over there is just through the roof. Mr. Patrick.
What's up, guys?
This is Brandon Patrick, social media expert, real estate agent extraordinaire, jack of all trades.
You've given me a great introduction there. Totally wasn't expecting.
Yeah, we're kind of having
podcast.
Yeah, we're doing a Knights of the Green Tables
Wow,
discussion.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
we're
that.
just talking about real estate here, and just kind of get the feel where everybody is as far as the investment. Now, Brandon, did you ever do any? Did you ever do any rentals? Anything on the rental side? I mean, I know you did a lot of agency, and you did a pretty.
Mainly I did resale homes, never really any rentals. So I will say that. Yeah.
Are you?
Well, I did. Now that I think about it, I did. And I sold that house to a church, the First Baptist Church. They're always, Baptists are always looking to expand the flock of land. So, yeah, I bought a house that was in between a Church of Christ and a First Baptist church down in Pickwick, Tennessee, or Pickwick Lake.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and bought it for $61.
So you had an angle.
What's that?
You had an angle.
Oh yeah. I knew exactly who I was going to sell that house to eventually because the pastor came from Germantown in Memphis.
Yeah.
And so I knew that they were going to eventually be having, a lot of people from Memphis go down there on the weekends.
Sure.
So I ended up selling the house for a little bit over 110 a couple of years later. But they needed the land to expand their campus.
Gotcha.
So it became a youth center. But in between there, I rented it. So it's a good thing.
That's a pretty good deal, especially if you had your turn already built into it.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
All right.
Nice little house too, actually, a ranch house.
Well, Larry, I guess I already know all of your real estate history.
You might not.
You've been pretty forthright about it. So you're just a cowboy, kind of.
Well, I come over Muhammad. I've enjoyed working with you and learned a lot. Appreciate that.
So for those of you guys that don't know, Larry and I partner on a lot of property. We've done rather well. We've had a good run here.
It's been a nice run.
Yeah.
It has.
It's been a good run. So,
Like it's over.
Hey, it could all be over. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next.
I mean, it's extremely important to figure out. That's part of why we have these discussions. Where's it going? What changes are we going to have to make? And even now, I think we're going to have to really get into. Les and I deal with finding a deal. We get plenty of deals, but we're still having to scrap for these things. I mean, it's and
I think that's on the agent side too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So Larry and I partner on property, and I partner with Mark, my esteemed business partner, who is driving and listing, and I'm sitting back there. And normally, it just depends on. Larry's got some decent financial backing, so when you put these things together, usually one person is finding a deal. Anyone can do it. Katina, you can do it as an agent. Glenda, you could even do it. You find a deal, there's always someone here who's going to potentially buy it or partner. There's always an angle if the deal is good done. The hardest thing is, like the one deal you had, it actually wasn't that bad. It was right on the edge of where I might have purchased it, but there's someone out there that may have been willing to pay a little more on the investment side. And it's always good to have, if you're an agent, to have some investors to work with, but it can't be your main staple of business. Yeah, it's always, and then even working with the agents, it's gonna vacillate. Or with the investors, you're going to do a certain amount of business with investors, and you'll have.
Sometimes when I run into people who just started investing, I invite them to come in.
You know, that's the smart thing to do. I'll tell you, a lot, and Brandon, you can attest to this, a lot of agents wind up, and a lot of people in general, you wind up spinning your wheels thinking that you can make something when you need to just be out there moving. And I always say that, you know, one deal does not make a career.
No.
One deal does not a career make. You're gonna have to have hundreds of deals to make a career. And so agents have a tendency, and even just any of us getting wrapped up in one thing, you got to have several irons in the fire.
Yeah.
You can't just get wrapped up, get your head spinning, and getting that emotional attachment of thinking you're going to have this money and then spending it before you get it, you know, and then next thing you know, that it all falls apart. But a lot of times investors can be difficult because they'll want you as an agent to go out, kill it, bring it back to them, slice it up, put it in the oven, cook it, stuff it, put the condiments beside it, and hand them their check. They, you know, it doesn't work like that.
They think you're their only
They don't.
client.
Well, a lot of them, people get enamored by the idea of doing investment real estate, but you got to get out there and get your hands dirty. I mean, you got to get out there. I mean, look, Muhammad, this guy, okay, this is a smart guy. So he's looking for a house for himself. What does he do? He goes to the auctions and starts talking to Les and I. So, you know, we start calling him if we've got a wholesale deal, and he has done well enough to save up cash to be able to purchase a home for his family over time, because that's, you know, that was his goal. But he did the right thing. He went out and networked with people, came to these meetings, and yes, if an investor wants to do that, that's exactly what they need to do. Lloyd,
Yes.
so tell me a little bit about, like, I guess you're working with Les now? Or
Yes, I'm working with Les and his wife now. I moved here from Memphis myself. And
Okay.
I had some property back in the 80s. It was a duplex. I rented it out to Bellevue Baptist. So I've had some, you know,
Get back into it?
Yeah, I had a duplex.
So you did that Memphis Baptist stuff too, then?
Yeah, I rented it out to the students that was going to the church.
Okay.
And but
I was born in Millington. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's
believe it or
that's
not, my dad built a house in Fraser.
in Fraser.
Yes,
I lived in Fraser one time too.
I lived in Fraser.
Yeah. I got out the business for a while. My nephew, he just bought some property where we grew up, and so it just, you know, gave me a chance to say, okay, let me try this again. Let me get back into this and see what's going on.
Well, you're in the right place, at least to get some good knowledge.
Fraser, was that a gated community or something?
Funny, right?
Gated is in.
Sales.
No, actually. Well, if you mean
Bar.
people put their guns.
Yeah.
Usually the guns are not in holsters.
Yeah.
Usually they just put in the belt. So.
No, off the wheel road. Yeah.
They got bars.
School bus.
That was funny. I actually saw a foreclosure on the street that a house that my dad had built, which was William Tell Drive. It's right off of Fraser Boulevard, and I saw a house in foreclosure today. You don't even want to drive there anymore. It's wow. Yeah, it's like people in Memphis don't even want to play.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's good. But I like Memphis, though. There's a lot of I think for a starter investor, there's a lot of opportunity in Memphis. And I'd like, my sister lives there, so I'd like to get more active in that market. And there's areas that work certain ways. Memphis, you can actually still get cash flow property, which is really hard to do in Nashville. Get out to, out past Bartlett, Cordova, Germantown, that side, east side, Arlington, you can still find really good deals. But there's some areas too that are really tough. So And then there's some areas that are hot. I mean, you know, you pick like downtown condos in Mud Island. It's
the riverfront is
Midtown, riverfront, yeah, South Bluffs, all that. Yeah, it's all crazy stuff. Unless obviously you don't have any. I mean, your only concerns are just finding more deals, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a deal for the guys that you're kind of in this game. I'd say close to the top of the food chain. It's harder to find good deals out there.
It's been an hour searching.
So for those of us actually out there, and I'm kind of directing this for everyone that are actually out there on the point going to these auctions. Part of our problem is there's a lot of money chasing these things right now, and then people pay too much. And it drives up, you got competition in places where, you know, people will go and pay almost market price at some of these auctions, and it's crazy. I mean, you know, so we just sit back there and we think that we're competitive bidders sometimes, and then these yahoos come in and just pay way too much for this property, and you know, you got to make a profit, so let it go. So that's just part of how it goes, and then keep moving. But it's been my experience that if you show up enough times, that there's always something. Now, in Memphis in particular, there are, you know, between the Renee Comer, Robert Coleman, and the Weiss properties, there are enough that go that don't require same-day funds. That there's stuff to bid on out there. But, you know, it's Nashville, that's hard. That's hard. It's tough. So, what's your next goal?
To be able to find more property.
Are you trying? You're trying to actually quit your job.
Yes, that's all my goal is to be able to do this full time.
Are you guys are you going to do it full time too, Shabbat?
I would like to.
Okay.
Most I'd like to get something like a detached or something that I can live in.
Okay. So you'd like to get in the rental side of that too? Yeah. We might have to wait till the next crash or find something just hard right now. They come up every once in a while, but in Nashville, it's just. I mean, bad neighborhoods are even expensive. So. But I don't even know if you can call anything in Nashville a bad neighborhood anymore.
I mean, you know what? I was over today, or
the only thing that's even close, and it's even expensive in the South Projects.
Man,
and they're blowing it up in there.
The pharmacy over there in Nashville. Went over there to have a hamburger and then went around those streets.
You had been
rehab and everything that's going on in Cleveland Park.
I flipped a house.
Yeah.
I flipped a house, believe it or not. And this was just a little over a year ago.
Right, I remember.
I bought a house. You could throw a baseball and hit the pharmacy.
Yeah.
2 years ago, now I bought one for $122, and I beat George out on it.
Right, I remember that.
Flipped it to Mark Evans for $155.
Yeah.
We bought, Justin Tarr and I bought one on West McKinney for $74.
Didn't know they had homes like that.
Yeah, and you throw a baseball and hit the pharmacy.
Wow.
We just did a quick flip on that. We bought one on Hart. That was not Shiver. We bought one on Hart for like $72.
Wow.
And yes, they're all $200 right now.
Yeah.
But we just quick turn them because that's what we're doing. So that whole pot is just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's extremely difficult.
I was shocked. I really was.
That's why I sold my first house on Eastland.
Did you really?
Before I got
West Eastland or Eastland?
West Eastland.
Yeah.
Before I got the sign in the yard.
Wow.
Somebody was calling me.
Yeah.
People were calling you wanting to.
I hadn't even put it online yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Put the sign in the yard.
Well, Mark had actually, my partner back in the day when he was buying, he bought a triplex on McFerrin, like over 2,000 square foot triplex for $60,000. Bought a duplex on McFerrin for $40,000, $40 or $50,000. I mean, just bought a basement house on McKinnell for $50,000.
Wow.
I mean, just the stuff, and that was just.
That's what Mark likes.
But Mark has a good eye. He's got an urban kind of eye. He's from Philadelphia, so he got the feel, and has gone through a real estate cycle in his lifetime. If you know what you're doing, you can kind of see the next area that's going to hit. And like for example, people think that maybe that it's going to be Trinity Lane or Bordeaux because that's really all that's left that hasn't flipped. So people are buying up property there.
Well, it is Trinity Lane.
Yeah, everybody's speculating on land there.
They bought those trailer homes.
Mm-hmm.
They cleared them out.
Yep. Yeah. It's the only place where you can get any density close in. So really, in Nashville, you can kind of draw concentric circles around downtown, and it's the closer you are into downtown, people are going to, and that's the buy and hold stuff. But you can't even. I don't know that. You probably could not. Within a 1 mile radius, 2 mile radius of that first circle, I don't know if you could find anything under 150,000. You got to get out and further. It's hard.
You know, the interesting is that area around White Creek, nobody has ever, to this day, really developed around. I mean, everybody thinks White Creek is, in Nashville. No, that is in the country. That high school is.
Yeah.
And there's so much land around there, I can't figure out why nobody's trying to develop it.
John Floyd and Dino Roberts had a deal, a big deal up there. They are, and that was when, and which John's land was all paid for, but Dino got out of business.
Yeah.
And that was in 07. And they had, 500 units there? Something like that. They had all their tap fees paid for with Metro.
I mean, they started, I think, in the like Mulberry Downs. They started doing a little bit up there around Dickerson Road, but it's just untapped land. I mean, all up through there.
Yeah, they had a big development. That's John Floyd's Old South.
Oh, yeah.
Are you really?
Okay. Yeah. I don't know so much about what's going on with Old South.
Well, I had partnered on some deals with the guy who was John's primary partner back in the day.
Yeah.
He got kind of buried in some land developments. We all got popped a little bit. So but Old South, that's a great company. Those guys are just solid. They do a fabulous job. I think the story is that Joe Morgan, like he was John's right-hand man for a while, and his first house, he was so good at estimating the cost. I think he got within $300 of what it cost to build the new construction. Those guys just had their numbers dialed in, and then they just put out a workforce product for the average person. It's about as affordable housing you can get. And you almost can't do that in Davidson. And it's getting harder to do in Murfreesboro. I mean, I haven't looked lately, but I mean, they used to build, $130,000, $150,000 stuff in Columbia. But now it's almost just townhomes that you can do that on.
Yeah.
So,
has anybody been flipping in Murfreesboro?
it's hard down there.
Man, there's just not.
It's difficult. I'll tell you, I go to the auctions. I have flipped 3 or 4 there this year, and I get when the regular group shows up to buy, they push the prices very hard.
Do they?
And those guys, there's a group of guys that's all they kind of do. They've got pretty decent chunks of cash. They pay cash for everything. They're not financing anything, and they don't need a big margin.
Yeah.
So they probably, a couple of those guys got a couple of million in play at any given time. And some of those guys have a bunch of paid for rentals. And it's a pretty regular syndicate, and you can't really track it. So that's the auction side. But really anything that hits, I mean, you've done a couple nice ones in Rutherford. We've done back in the last few years.
It's been a while, yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to find anything. I got, in the last few years, for some reason, I have shown up to a few auctions where just nobody showed up. I don't know why. For some reason, I pulled a notice somewhere because I dig a little deeper that nobody got. And I did some good deals down there. But hard to find.
There seems to be a lot around Central High School, rehabs that could be done. And I'm seeing some dumpsters out in front of houses, so I know they're being done.
Well, I mean, I can remember one of the thoughts that I had initially coming into town was how cool Main Street was, which that got out of touch. You used to be able to find something. That's not happening anymore. But that north side of town down there, just on the west of campus, just north of the main square. Well, and even now I'm talking about some of the older stuff closer in. You can't even find that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Now, when you get south of Main Street, south of East Main, every once in a while something cheap still comes up. In this market, it's hard. But then you got a couple of areas down there that are
down on Clearview Restaurant,
down
right
on
that
State
area.
Street, down there by the community center.
Mm-hmm.
A little rough.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I've driven down there, people like yelling at me and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like,
You get that everywhere you go.
I do. I had someone out here in the parking lot yelling at me the other day. Come on, man.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
For the MLS,
And look, this is so. I wanted to open this up because here's the thing. I want everybody to kind of like. This is sort of like a mastermind, but we've got masterminds in different places. So I want to help everybody that's in here kind of reach out. So I'm saying ask your questions, and I'll try to play guru today. So.
For the MLS, are a lot of investors looking at the MLS too?
So yes, and it's hard to find a deal there. I almost don't even look anymore. What I used to do, here's a juicy tidbit for markets that aren't as hot as Nashville. I used to go to real estate agents and say, look, so I was a real estate agent. I said, look, you keep your commission. Make me the selling agent, because agents will eat you alive if they think that you're pocketing both sides. I said, you make me the selling agent, I will not take a cooperative commission, and I want the property, I'll give you full price. I just put it out there like that. That has worked for me sometimes. Because the only way you usually get a deal in the MLS is it's priced wrong. Okay. So it could be a foreclosure sale sometimes where it's a listing, they price it according to the broker price opinion. It comes out, the vultures see it, and then it's just dead meat. Now, a lot of banks are smart, and then they force a 5-day waiting period or a 7-day.
I'm seeing a lot of as-is.
Yeah, and that's another thing in a hot market like this. I don't need your inspection. But you think I want your inspection? I got 10 people right behind you. You think I want your inspection? And that's kind of the way I put it out there. It's interesting. People are afraid of houses, and if you have systemic water issues like washing away the foundation of your house or hydrostatic pressure from you're on the side of a hill and there's you've got a wall collapsing, then that's an issue. But usually, you're going to spend more on your car than the little fix-it things in your house if you're actually maintaining your house, especially if you're doing it yourself. But people these days don't like to do very much themselves. People used to fix everything themselves. So there is a little bit of a fear that, there's some rotten fascia board. I looked at that, I'm like, who cares? It's a piece of rotten fascia board. But if you're a first-time buyer, you have an issue. I'll tell you another thing from our perspective. When we renovate a house, a lot of times people will come into a renovated house and they'll see something really clean, really functional, fresh. You got to be very careful because they think of it like a condo. Like, okay, it's going to be like my box, and it's going to be in perfect condition. A lot of these are older houses, and you need to go and if you're going to do a renovation, which I'm fine, I encourage people to get into it, especially if you can afford it. We can step you through that and help you through some pieces. But it needs to be inspection proof. When people see something that's really clean, they expect it to. They're going to inspect it a lot of times, and a lot of times you want something that might be a little broken or not perfect, and you sell it as is. We do that in our business. I mean, I bought one. We bought one. Larry and I bought one. Larry and Mark and I, there's 5 different people. Oh, and it's Springfield this week. It's a piece of junk, but it was $33,000. And it's in the country, all right? So, and it works. Somebody can buy it for $50, they'll be able to renovate it and flip it. I could probably list it and sell it for more. I don't know. That's not what I do. I want it going fast. I want a cash buyer. I want to move on to the next one.
Where's the back road?
It is Old New Cut Road. It's only a couple miles from downtown, and it's 2 acres, so it's country. I mean, it's off of Black Patch.
Okay, like going out from Springfield towards White
Out
House?
Memorial.
Okay,
You make a right on Black Patch,
okay.
and then you make a right on Old New Cut. And it's 2 acres of very private land, and I mean, there's a. I'm going to give you guys a color commentary. We go to this house. The front porch, there are 2 safes that have been cracked open. They're laying on the front porch. There's some hollow point bullets. There's some whiskey bottles. And there's some porno magazines.
Oh, right.
And it's just trash everywhere, of course.
Living the street.
So that's what that's the kind of person that's going to live in this house.
Hopefully that's the kind of person that used to live in this house.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. No, actually, it's probably, for someone that knows that what they're doing, they could fix it for $50. It's a $150 sale, and it meets all of the numbers for what they'll teach you to do at a rehab. But it is a
for 50, and it's a
I'll sell
150
I'll
sale.
sell it for $50 today. Yeah.
But it's a 150.
Once you renovate it, sure, absolutely.
And you're thinking it needs
Everything.
got it.
Yeah, it's a good job. Yeah, it's been vacant. And it's roof leak, mold,
And
everything.
have people living it like
Yeah.
people squad.
But it's a really neat place. It's
Part of
private.
the allures of privacy.
Now that, if so, in the old days, someone would have gotten out a hammer and like my father, he would just rip over. If I were so inclined, if I were 20-something years old, like if I were, I'd do the same thing.
Like
Just start ripping out the drywall. And you just,
redo it.
Yeah, redo it. The foundation's fine on it. It doesn't have a problem. But yeah, you just go ahead and rebuild everything.
But you don't know the amount or the approximate amount.
If I had to, I put an eyeball on it, $50,000.
It's 50 and more.
Yeah. No, the deal is a good renovation. It works.
Yeah.
It works. Good deal.
So you're thinking that total it'd be 100, but you could probably get around 150, so you make 50%.
Oh, you'll get 150.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can't get 2 acres private, 3-bedroom house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not. It's like it's kind of neat driving in. You drive in there. There's a guy before this house. There's a pond, and it's got like Noah's Ark. I don't know if anybody ever driven up there, Old New Cut Road. The guy's built like Noah's Ark out on top of his pond. And somebody told me they do corporate retreats out there. Kind of neat. I'm like, oh, but it was a cool place. I mean, but it was definitely a mess. So that's, they come up. I mean, they're rare, and something like that. We're not trying to make a ton. It's either we've got to renovate it, or or we just turn it to somebody. With what lesson I do, we would rather turn, because a lot of what we do, he's gone ahead and accumulated. I'm not in that phase right now. I'll probably be there pretty soon. But I'm trying to increase my cash position for everything. But when you're in the turn game, it's all about your velocity.
Yeah.
Unless you have unlimited capital. If you don't have unlimited capital, you're going to be giving up pieces of your deals, which is fine. Because a lot of times partners are great to have.
Yes.
But it's still, and then, you wind up, what we do, you've got to work with people. You're going to take on partners in my business. It's just inevitable. Sometimes 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 partners. part of the game. But anyway, I don't want to totally getting back to the MLS. Yes, there's stuff out there. Really, if I'm an aggressive agent these days, and we're actually going to do this, we're going to get a wholesaling company running. But you need to be knocking on doors. Yeah. Oh, good for you. Okay.
The thing that's aggressive.
I knock on doors.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, even in my own condo, I put out letters and CMA and pass it out to all my neighbors.
That's the kind of stuff that you have to do.
My clients tell me what they want, and they had a low price range. That is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I just knock on doors.
That's, just always be aware of your surroundings, but that's exactly what you do. And really, as an investor, you can do the same thing. I tell everyone, this is the you need a system for buying real estate. There's your system. It's called your knuckles.
I live in the neighborhood, so I'm familiar with people.
Yeah.
Most of my age and their parents passed away and they're selling their house.
They're all going to cash in at a certain point.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of their parents had their houses paid for too. That was back when people used to pay for houses. Not like this generation; they don't do that anymore. They get loans.
Yeah.
I
get 2 or 3 houses.
There's still deals out there. I mean, it's part of the issue that we have right now, the difficulty in finding deals is people have a lot of equity. So we're not seeing quite as much distress, and there's enough equity if they were getting behind on payments, you're not seeing as many foreclosure deals in the MLS as you used to see. And they're not hanging out there as long. I used to do a lot of HUD sales, and you can still every once in a while find a decent deal. I'll see every once in a while. I will see in the MLS every once in a while something in 1 or 2 counties out where someone got a great deal on something. But it's hard to spot that unless you're really out there. It's going to be hard to know, like, if you got a pretty piece of property down in Murray County, that could be a $300,000 property. Unless you know the lay of the land down there, it's going to be hard for you to know that it's a good deal. But they do happen. They're out there.
I have a question.
Yes, Marcus.
The question is, what if you are driving around?
This is like from Home Improvement. This is the...
Wilson!
Wilson, yeah. Yes, Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes. Stick your head over the side of the door there.
There he is.
Yes, if you're driving around.
Yeah, the question is, what if you're driving around and you just happen to be looking for deals? Mm-hmm. What would constitute a deal by sight?
Well, the first thing you want to look for is something that's probably an abandoned property, but it depends on your methodology. If you're looking for distressed real estate, you want something that's possibly abandoned and you want to try to find the owner. So grass growing up, obviously, home dilapidated, could be in the family and they, never did anything to it. Yeah, boarded up. And then you got to locate the owner. But in some of these neighborhoods, I mean, regular deals can be decent. I mean, you've got people that are flipping properties to institutional investors and making a ton of money, and you can just literally, if you're an agent, you can write in 6% of commission and call the institutional investor and say, hey, what will you sell this for? What will you buy it for? And that's a pretty good flip. You can make 10 or 20 grand on some of these deals, and they'll buy higher end stuff. So in a place like Antioch, in these production neighborhoods, 200 to 250, they don't buy as many in Antioch, but these guys, these institutional investors, they'll buy $500,000 stuff in Brentwood.
How do you find the owner? They're not listed, phone numbers.
I talked to neighbors. I mean, I did a deal.
Courthouse retrieval is what I did.
I use courthouse. So you've got the MLS courthouse retrieval.
Right.
There's an upgraded service that you can do with that. I talked to neighbors. I mean, I did a deal on Meridian about a year and a half ago. Actually, how I met William Wood, and she was going to lose it. It was Thursday. She was going to lose it on Tuesday. I didn't know what happened, but she had talked to an agent. I went across the street to the commercial establishment, which was a plumber. They said, I think the neighbor is taking care of it. The neighbor knew her. I made an initial offer. And she said, I'd like to get this. She literally had, I went ahead and said, okay, I'll do this. She had talked to an agent about listing it. So I called the agent because I didn't want to go around the agent because I don't do that. I said, look, and I developed a rapport with the agent. And I said, I do this for a living. Here's the thing. I am cash and I am right now. And you'll get your commission. But a lot of times on these deals, if it's going to an auction, they won't even give you a payoff. I mean, you can catch it up as the buyer, but to actually try to get through a normal sale, you may not even get a payoff in time. By the time you get this thing listed, the machine starts turning. Tuesday comes around. If it doesn't happen perfect, you could lose this. Well, this was on Meridian. It was commercially zoned property. I bought it for $138,000, and it was someone. She lived in Detroit. Her parents had lived there. I guess she probably didn't know what was going on in the neighborhood.
Right.
Like, you can remember what Cleveland Park was before.
I remember.
Yeah.
I lived there.
Yeah. And what's going on now, which is like, everything. And it's, you're probably thinking, so anyway, I wound up flipping it, but I got, and quite frankly, there was a risk that they could have lost it for closing. But yeah, I went to the neighbor. The neighbor was taking care of it. So yes, knocking on doors, getting information. Sometimes people know you can find relatives. You have to be a little bit of a detective. This is a logic process, but you have to be kind of tenacious if you're going to do this. Deals will happen, but you got to put yourself in the path of more deals. So there's always something out there. You got to go out. You got to go out, and you need to do it systematically. This is one of Glenda. You would love one of our agents. Tina can attest to this. Jeremy Tabor. I didn't know this. I didn't realize he had done. He told me he may be on here, Mr. Tabor. So Jeremy did $1.4 million in commission income last year. I didn't know that. He's done almost as much as I have. I don't know if he'll ever catch me. He probably will surpass me. So he's the number 2 exit real estate agent in the world, and we talk about this. It's just like anything. You and I talked about this today. You've got to run the numbers in your business. His team, they all have a coach, and they all do a minimum of 10, but they shoot for trying to get 20 points of contact sales calls per day. And they log it and they're accountable for it. And they turn it in. And then they're measured on conversion rates. Okay? It's not just the calls, but how many of your calls turned into appointments? How many appointments turned into, in other words, you're getting into your A time now. How many of your appointments? An appointment or a listing or a buyer's representation agreement, that's in your A time. And it would be the same thing in the lending business when you're taking a loan application. You want to get into your A time. Now, where you make your points of contact is different. I get calls from time to time from insurance guys. I'm telling you, the guys that are calling me, the guys that are killing it. I'll get a call every 6 months from like the same one. You know that they've got to be killing. The more people that are consistently doing it, so you got to run your numbers. You got to hold yourself accountable to those numbers. I don't care what your business is. It's the same thing. And so, like for example, we have not purposely done a hard sell with what we're doing with green, because we were more concerned with developing, these networks like we're doing, having everyone comfortable, getting the education going, and we're financially stable, and so we were content. We were in this 4 months. We were content to have a 2-year break-even point, and we will have that. But in the meantime, it's when I flip, when I get out of just the pure options, that's kind of what
Well, it's preparing us for when the bubble does.
Yes.
Right. I mean, right now we're learning.
So part of that shift, what's going to happen is it's just going to be where you look to get your numbers.
Right.
So it could wind up being, you need to know guys like this, because when that bubble breaks, he's going to have more hot stuff, and so we're going to see a trend, and it's going to go. You're going to see it start to slide. You'll start to see some inventory going up. There's going to be a nice crossover point but then you got to be careful when it goes down here. When it hits the bottom, because that's when not as many people are buying.
Right.
So you need to be positioned for that. That's why it's good to have some investor clients.
Right.
Good to have some. It's good to have some people that are willing to scoop up a rental property here and there, or maybe an institutional investor that you've worked with once or twice. I've flipped some to the institution.
No, I've been going to the meetings with MDHA on the housing development program.
Good.
They'll be finished with those 2019. So I'm, the planners are coming out, the engineers are coming out, and what they're going to put into developing, commercial property.
Sure.
And just seeing how they're looking at how to grow from that stuff. I know it's not there yet.
Sure.
But I know by them tearing down 4 different housing projects at one time, what's ready to happen, and they're all purple national.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, they got some of the highest dollar land in town. If you look where they're positioned, I mean, you're like, they're sitting there right on Shelby. You're like,
now they're just doing the clean out.
And then 14th Avenue. Right. I mean, you're like, you're looking around and they've got fabulous land positions.
So they started with James Casey, Shelby.
Yeah.
They've already made the first actual place.
The push.
And now they're going to, Borough. But they're getting their mind.
That's the one that's going to be interesting.
They're getting their mind focused right now. Like, okay,
that's the bad one.
They pushing out all the dead weight.
Where are these folks going that live there?
Majority of them, if you don't qualify, you got to go.
It's just federal. It's federal assistance. They still have some state assistance. They're just not putting them in projects anymore. You still get a check.
But it's gonna be where someone with their income can live there and someone with a higher income can live there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Because
and they're gonna actually make roads and sidewalks. They're not gonna be that.
You can't
one way in, one way out.
When you put everyone together that's had a hard life, then everything just gets harder.
But you got
people got to be around.
It started that way.
Yeah.
It was not. It was that way, and then it was.
Yeah.
Are they going to tear the existing homes down and rebuild?
Everything is going down.
Is that something we should look into then?
Yeah.
That's
it's above our pay grade.
Yeah, everything's already happened around it. The neighborhood that you should have looked into about 2 or 3 years ago was that Fane, that pocket right there.
But they're going to redo stores, everything. It's just amazing.
That was about the only where you could still find super cheap stuff. The only thing left, and that's gonna. It's gonna do like Cleveland Park. That's when they tore down the projects. Are they going to give the land to? They're not going to give the land away this time. Right. Yeah, I hadn't followed that.
So like that bridge that goes over the interstate, they're going to do something where you can. It's like a walking bridge to Nashville.
Yeah.
not that crazy swinging.
It's all changing. It's all changing.
So you can just
Well,
walk over.
it is. I like to be prompt and not keep people too long. Just so you guys know, I'm going to give you a quick dial out of this because we went over time. Hope you've enjoyed the discussion. I wanted to get a little more personal. Andrea, first of all, I have to say, do you have a question, and does anyone online have a question that they'd like to address real quick?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What happened to the magazines?
They're still up there on the porch waiting for you to get back into Nashville.
They'll be there.
Yep, they're there.
All right, I'll be there.
All right. Oh.
See you guys.
All right. All right, Andre, you got anything to shoot at us?
Actually, I do.
I figured you did.
Well, I wanted to let you know that we have a new member of Green down in Fort Myers, Florida. And
cool.
Why you might be interested is because he has a deal with a company, a national company that provides him with bank-owned properties. And he gets them 3 days before they go public.
The Catholic. Oh, is that my Catholic?
Yes.
Okay.
And anyway, long story short, right now he's getting them in Florida and I guess 7 other states, including Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay.
And he gets them apparently on Thursdays.
Okay.
And so we're talking with him about having a program where he would make these properties available to green members and stuff. And I was thinking, as I was listening to Les, you were talking about needing properties and opportunities. Maybe this could be something that could help you. I know you've done some deals down here in Florida too. And I know the guys are, looking for deals, and maybe this could be helpful.
Hey, I appreciate you reminding me. Mark and I actually had the conversation with Mike, and we may look into trying to syndicate something and buying some bigger chunks, like getting into $5 million. Get with a bank like that or something. We'll get a bunch of people together and look at getting a little heavier in that. I appreciate you reminding me. Did Mike actually sign up today? I didn't know.
He said he was going to join today.
Okay. Cool.
He was on the program with Sharon. Just as a little commercial for everybody, every morning. It's like 10 o'clock to 10:30, just a short program on the Omni Join. We have a program hosted by Sharon Restrepo. She and her husband do investment from Hawaii to Miami. And she offers off-market deals. And anyway, each weekend, she offers things. So.
Okay. Cool. Well, just so the new people know, we do these meetings Wednesday. This is free. You guys can always come. We want to share ideas, build a big network. Andrea is our director of education, and we have an online component. The idea is, you can actually earn while you learn. We have built a network marketing company. We charge $99 a month plus it's $99.97 plus $9.97 to be a distributor. And then I'm more than happy to go over with either of you the compensation plan, which allows you to actually earn that money back. We're in this for the long haul, and we're actually in this to build our businesses and our networks. So we're not all about just trying to sell something. We do want people to have the opportunity to go out there and grow the network of people. And the compensation plan for the people that actually start working, the idea is we want you to be able to pump that money back into real estate. So that will be, and Brandon's making some money. I think Katina's less. There's some of us that just come here because we're here to talk about real estate, and then some are looking to go ahead and expand it and make a little bit of money. So we're we're here for that. But Andrea is our director of education, and then, as I said, we archive all of these sessions. We have several safe training sessions per week. So probably an average of close to one a day. So for just $99 a month, you literally can go and train with people that have experience in all kinds of different fields. I don't think there's a value like this in real estate education. I don't think it exists. People try to charge you thousands of dollars for it. This group here has done more than 90% of the people that you're going to see on TV for the constant stuff. And just so you know, we keep the doors open until 8. Feel free to mingle, trade business cards, talk, ask me questions, ask Larry, Katina, Les, ask anybody questions. And then at 8, I'm going to kick everyone out. So, guys, thank you. Andrea, thank you. And thanks for